How can parents be sure they're safe? Well, a new first-of-its-kind report, toy-related injuries are up almost 40% over the past 2 decades.
In the quest to delight and entertain, toy manufacturers sometimes overlook critical safety concerns, leading to unforeseen hazards. From dangerous designs to hazardous materials, some beloved toys have become infamous for their perilous flaws. This exploration delves into the dark side of seemingly innocent toys, such as the perilous mini hammocks and lead-laden card games that have put children's safety at risk. Join us as we take a look at 20 disturbing kid toys that got banned. Number 20. Laughing Baby Doll. Crafting dolls that mimic objects or behaviors to comfort children is a straightforward task for toy manufacturers. Yet when it comes to making a doll that laughs, it's clear that not all designs hit the mark. Take, for example, the infamous Laughing Baby Doll. In theory, a doll that giggles and laughs should be a delightful addition to any child's toy collection. After all, laughter is universally associated with joy and fun. However, this particular doll took a turn into the unsettling. The commercial for the Laughing Baby Doll was nothing short of surprising. Instead of the sweet, innocent chuckles one might expect, the doll emitted a laugh so unnervingly weird it sounded like something straight out of a horror film. Picture a laugh that could send shivers down your spine, reminiscent of the sinister cackles you might hear as you wander through the depths of the underworld. It was as if the laughter had been designed by someone with a peculiar sense of humor, or a rather macabre vision for playtime. The result? A doll that terrified rather than entertained. Parents and children alike recoiled at the doll's unsettling giggles, leading to its swift disappearance from toy stores. Number 19. The Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab. In the early 1950s, a peculiar red box began appearing in American toy stores. The Gilbert U-238 Atomic Energy Lab, marketed as a groundbreaking educational tool. It promised to teach children about the wonders of atomic energy through hands-on experiments. However, this seemingly innocent kit had a dark secret. It contained radioactive materials, including uranium. The mastermind behind this unusual toy was Alfred Carlton Gilbert, a celebrated toy inventor known for his innovative creations. Following World War II, with the world gripped by nuclear fascination and the aftermath of the atomic bomb, Gilbert saw an opportunity. He envisioned a toy that would capture the public's burgeoning interest in atomic science and spark curiosity in young minds about nuclear technology. The Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab was more than just a toy. It was an elaborate scientific kit equipped with a cloud chamber, an electroscope, and other tools designed to detect and measure radioactivity. Marketed as a means to inspire future scientists and engineers, the kit came with 4 small jars containing real uranium. While Gilbert reassured parents of its safety, the truth was more troubling. The uranium emitted radiation similar to ultraviolet rays from the sun, and prolonged exposure posed significant health risks, including the potential for serious illnesses like cancer. The kit's instructions, buried in technical jargon, warned about the dangers of radioactive dust and advised against opening the uranium jars. Despite these warnings, the reality was that many parents were unaware of the risks involved. Priced at $50, a hefty sum equivalent to around $650 today, the Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab was out of reach for most families, leading to its swift removal from shelves. By 1951, the toy was banned, having sold only a limited number of units. Number 18. Cabbage Patch Snacktime Kids. Few toys have achieved the legendary status of the Cabbage Patch Kids. Their charm, characterized by their simple yet lovable design, captured the hearts of both parents and children around the globe, making them a top seller for many years. However, not every attempt by the creators was a hit. Let's rewind to Christmas 1996, when the Cabbage Patch Kids introduced a new doll known as the Snacktime Kid. The concept seemed delightful at first. The doll was designed to eat small plastic food items fed by children. But things quickly went awry. The Snacktime Kid featured a motorized mouth with no off switch. This design flaw led to some unsettling scenarios. Children, excited to play with their new toy, sometimes found their fingers getting caught in the moving mouth. Even more alarming, the doll's mouth had a tendency to chew on hair, trapping it, and in some cases, making it appear as if the doll was attempting to eat the child's head. Despite assurances from the manufacturer that the doll had passed extensive safety tests, reports of these incidents emerged within days of the release. Parents were left scrambling, removing the doll's batteries to stop the mouth's relentless motion. The complaints and petitions from parents led to the ban of the toy. Number 17. Hasbro Javelin Darts. In the 1970s and 1980s, Javelin Darts, commonly known as lawn darts or jarts, became a popular fixture in family backyards. The concept was simple and engaging. Children threw sharp-tipped darts toward a plastic ring on the ground, aiming to score points by landing the darts inside the ring. While this backyard game seemed innocent, its origins were far from benign. The design of these darts was inspired by the plumbata, an ancient weapon used by Greek and Roman soldiers to strike from a distance. Toy manufacturers, including Hasbro, repurposed the plumbata's design for recreational use, transforming a historic weapon into what was intended to be a family-friendly game. However, the inherent dangers of these darts were not fully appreciated. Despite their playful guise, the sharp, heavy tips of the lawn darts posed a serious risk, particularly to children. Tragedy struck in 1970 when a 4-year-old child lost their life due to a lawn dart accident. This prompted the Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, to intervene, leading to a nationwide ban on the toy. Despite the ban, manufacturers fought back in court, and a compromise was eventually reached in 1976. Lawn darts could no longer be marketed or sold as toys, and new regulations were established, including a stark warning on each package: not a plaything. When used by minors, it could result in severe or even deadly harm. Pay close attention to the directions. Keep out of children's reach. By 1977, lawn darts reappeared on store shelves, though the warnings were frequently ignored. Between 1978 and 1986, over 6,100 emergency room visits were linked to lawn dart injuries, with 80% involving children under 15. One heartbreaking case in April 1987 involved a 7-year-old girl who was struck by a lawn dart, leading to her tragic death. Her father, David Snow, launched a determined campaign to outlaw lawn darts, culminating in a second ban by the CPSC in December 1988. Despite this, lawn darts remained a hazard, with some parents disregarding the ban. A third ban in 1997 called for the destruction of remaining sets, but vintage lawn darts continued to appear on auction sites. Number 16. Slap Bracelets. When slap bracelets burst onto the scene in the summer of 1990, they quickly captivated children across the U.S. Priced at a mere $2.5, these playful bands flew off the shelves, with Main Street Toys selling 1 million units within 3 months and ordering 5 million more. The simple thrill of the bracelet's snap and wrap made them an instant hit. But what began as a harmless fad soon turned alarming. The original slap bracelets were made with care, featuring premium steel with rounded edges encased in double-knit fabric, ensuring safety for little wrists. However, as their popularity soared, so did the influx of cheap knockoffs from Asia. These counterfeit bracelets, crafted from inferior steel and flimsy fabric, had sharp edges prone to rusting and tearing. This resulted in a dangerous twist to what was supposed to be a fun accessory. Reports of injuries began to mount as children encountered cuts and scrapes from the exposed metal edges of these poorly made imitations. Nicole Tomaso, a 4-year-old from Wallingford, Connecticut, cut her finger on one of these faulty bracelets, while an elementary school student in New York required stitches after being injured. The Consumer Product Safety Commission swiftly issued warnings about the cutting hazards posed by slap bracelets, especially those not adhering to original safety standards. The situation escalated as slap bracelets, initially worn around wrists, were now being sported around necks, ankles, and other sensitive areas. With 10 to 15 million of these dangerous imitations flooding the market, injuries continued to rise. To curb the crisis, schools in Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and New York banned the bracelets. Despite Main Street Toys' original slap bracelets being safe, the controversy and injuries linked to knockoffs tarnished the brand. Ultimately, slap bracelets were pulled from production, recalled, and destroyed. Number 15. Polly Pocket. In 1989, Bluebird Toys unveiled Polly Pocket, a toy that sparked delight in the hearts of children everywhere. Each Polly Pocket set was a charming plastic box that opened up to reveal a meticulously crafted miniature dollhouse. Inside, tiny dolls no bigger than an inch stood ready to explore their tiny world, interacting with the various elements of the house. By 1994, Polly Pocket had become a cultural phenomenon, with Bluebird toys achieving an impressive $139 million in sales by 1995. However, as trends shifted, Polly Pocket's initial surge in popularity began to wane. In a bid to revive the brand, Mattel acquired the Polly Pocket trademark in 1998 and introduced a redesigned line called Quick Click. This innovative range featured dolls with magnetic hands and feet, designed to effortlessly attach to different parts of the dollhouse and interact with new magnet-based accessories. The reimagined Polly Pocket seemed poised for a triumphant comeback, with eager parents snapping up these toys for their children. Yet the promise of Quick Click Polly Pocket soon unraveled into a serious safety crisis. The tiny magnets, intended to enhance play, began to dislodge from the dolls and accessories. These powerful magnets posed a grave choking hazard if swallowed. The danger escalated if multiple magnets were ingested, as they could attract and clump together inside the digestive system, causing potentially fatal internal damage. The gravity of the situation became clear with more than 170 reported incidents involving detached magnets. The crisis reached a critical point in 2006 when 3 individuals required emergency surgery after swallowing the magnets. In response, the Consumer Product Safety Commission mandated a recall of approximately 4 million Polly Pocket sets. The recall, though necessary, inflicted significant financial and reputational damage on Mattel, tarnishing Polly Pocket's standing as a safe toy. Despite attempts to revive the brand with new products in 2010, the damage was irreparable. By 2012, Polly Pocket had been withdrawn from the American market. Number 14. My Cleaning Trolley. What makes a truly awful children's toy? Is it just a boring design, or is it a toy that completely misses the mark in its purpose? Sometimes a toy gets approved and released, despite being so misguided that it leaves everyone wondering how it ever made it to the shelves. Take the My Cleaning Trolley, for example. This pink, sparkly toy cart was designed to turn young girls into little housekeepers. The idea that a toy should prepare girls for cleaning up after others is not just outdated, it's also offensive. It reinforces old stereotypes that suggest cleaning is a girl's job, a view that society has thankfully outgrown. Why would any child want a toy like this? While kids sometimes enjoy mimicking their parents, a cleaning trolley doesn't seem like a toy that would capture their imagination. The concept feels like a throwback to a time when gender roles were strictly defined, which is likely why it didn't last long on the market. The My Cleaning Trolley quickly became rare, and it's easy to see why. People were quick to criticize its outdated and misguided message. Number 13. Breast Milk Baby. If you thought the strange world of toy designs had reached its limits, there's more to discover. During Bill O'Reilly's tenure as a Fox News reporter, he encountered a toy that left him, and many others, deeply unsettled: the Breast Milk Baby. This doll, designed with the intention of educating young girls about breastfeeding, took a concept that many found troubling to an entirely new level. The Breast Milk Baby was crafted to simulate the experience of breastfeeding. When pressed against certain parts of the child's body, it would produce a sucking sound, mimicking the action of nursing. While the idea was to provide an educational experience, the execution raised significant concerns. O'Reilly described the doll as disturbing during his on-air commentary, reflecting widespread discomfort with the toy's approach. Many parents shared his concerns, feeling that the doll was not only unnecessary but also inappropriate for its intended audience. As a result, the Breast Milk Baby was quickly withdrawn from shelves and never made a return. Number 12. Little Mommy Doll. In 2008, FisherPrice released a doll designed to coo, babble, and mimic baby noises, intended to capture the charm of a real infant. However, this seemingly innocuous toy sparked controversy when some parents claimed that the doll's sounds were misinterpreted as a religious statement. Specifically, there were allegations that the doll was saying, "Islam is the light," a phrase many felt was inappropriate for a toy and should be removed from store shelves. FisherPrice responded to these claims by suggesting that the perceived message was due to the power of suggestion. The company argued that people might hear what they expect based on context or expectation. During interviews, some reported hearing "Mommy's Delight" instead of any religious phrase. Despite these varied interpretations, FisherPrice decided to address the issue by removing the contentious audio clip from future production runs of the doll, rather than pulling the existing dolls from shelves. The debate underscores how auditory interpretations can vary widely, influencing public perception and company responses. It raises questions about how manufacturers should navigate sensitive issues and the extent to which they should address subjective interpretations of their products. Number 11. Toothpick crossbows. In the mid-2010s, a concerning trend emerged in Chinese schools involving toothpick crossbows. These toys, originally intended to shoot toothpicks at various targets, quickly became popular among students. However, the sharp, wooden projectiles posed significant risks, leading to numerous reports of injuries. The toys were frequently used to shoot not only toothpicks, but also nails, needles, and other hazardous objects. The dangerous nature of these crossbows was highlighted by several incidents where children suffered serious injuries. In one notable case, a child was reported to have sustained severe eye injuries from a toothpick fired from a crossbow. Such incidents prompted widespread alarm among parents and educators, who feared for the safety of students. In response to the growing concerns, the Chinese government took swift action. By early 2016, the sale of toothpick crossbows was officially banned across the country. Major retailers were ordered to remove these toys from their shelves, and law enforcement agencies conducted raids to enforce the ban and ensure compliance. Number 10. Yum doll that cries. Some dolls are designed to mimic real-life emotions like crying or whining, which can help children relate to the doll as if it were a real baby. These dolls create an interactive experience where a child can soothe a crying doll, much like a parent would with a real baby. However, the Yum doll from Japan takes this concept to an unusual extreme. This doll cries only when injected with a special liquid. Yes, it requires an actual injection to produce tears. This approach seems overly complicated and puzzling. Why would anyone think making a doll cry through an injection was a good idea? It's a confusing choice, and it adds unnecessary complexity to what should be a simple toy. The most concerning aspect is the potential risk to children. Introducing an injector as part of the toy could lead to injuries, especially if children are not properly instructed on how to use it. The doll's design, intended to simulate a medical experience, might seem innovative, but it ultimately adds unnecessary complexity and risk. While aiming for realism in toys can sometimes be a good idea, it's crucial to ensure the toy remains safe and simple for children to enjoy. This doll's odd design led many parents to avoid it, showing that not every attempt at realism in toys is a success. Number 9. The Easy Bake Oven. In 1963, Kenner Products introduced the Easy Bake Oven, a toy that quickly became a hit with children, selling 500,000 units in its first year. In 1991, Hasbro acquired Kenner and updated the toy in 2006 with a new design, a bright purple and pink front-loading oven with 4 burners on top. However, this new design posed serious safety risks. Children began getting their fingers stuck in the small front opening, leading to 29 reports of injuries. The oven's metal plates, meant to simulate real cooking, became dangerously hot, causing severe burns. Hasbro initially responded with a repair kit to cover the opening, but it didn't prevent further accidents. In 2007, after a family filed a $1.2 million lawsuit due to their daughter's injury, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission intervened, ordering Hasbro to recall about 1 million Easy Bake ovens. The once-beloved toy's reputation was badly damaged by the incident. Number 8. The Super Soaker Oozinator. For many of us, the Super Soaker wasn't just a toy. It was practically a childhood essential and a vital tool in backyard warfare. However, it was one of the disturbing kid toys that got banned. These water blasters ruled the playground, offering endless fun on hot summer days. Kids loved nothing more than grabbing their Super Soakers and drenching friends in epic water battles. The variety of Super Soakers available only added to the excitement, allowing for creative and intense water fights based on the firepower in your arsenal. However, not every idea from the Super Soaker creators hit the mark. Enter the Super Soaker Oozinator, a bizarre twist on the classic water gun that earned its place in the Hall of Infamy. The Oozinator's gimmick? Instead of shooting refreshing streams of water, it fired a thick, white, gooey substance. The idea was to make it seem like you were being slimed by an alien. And while the concept might have sounded fun on paper, the execution was anything but. The commercials for the Oozinator failed to consider the unsettling imagery they were broadcasting, and the goo itself was a nightmare to clean out of clothes and hair. What was meant to be a fun twist ended up being disturbing enough to get this strange toy pulled from shelves, proving that sometimes even the most inventive ideas can go horribly wrong. Number 7. Aqua Leisure Baby Floats. In the late 2000s, Aqua Leisure, a well-known manufacturer of pool toys, faced a serious safety issue with their baby floats. These flotation devices, intended to keep infants and young children safe in the water, were found to have a significant design flaw. The seats on these floats were prone to tearing, which led to babies and toddlers potentially falling through the float and into the water. The problem came to light when over 20 incident reports were filed by concerned parents. The defect was particularly alarming because it created a hazardous situation where children could slip into the pool or lake, increasing the risk of drowning. While no fatalities occurred, the potential for serious injury was substantial. In response to the safety breach, Aqua Leisure issued a voluntary recall to address the defective floats. This recall affected thousands of units and involved removing them from store shelves and contacting consumers who had purchased the product. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, intervened after the company's delayed notification, imposing a civil penalty of $650,000 on Aqua Leisure. Number 6. The Jiba Jabber. The Jiba Jabber was a toy with a long, flexible neck that made a rattling noise when shaken. Its bright colors and quirky face made it seem playful, but the toy had a darker side. Designed as a stress reliever, it encouraged kids to vent their frustrations by violently shaking it. However, this act of shaking resembled the dangerous behavior of shaking a baby, raising serious concerns among parents and child safety advocates. The toy even came with a warning label advising against shaking real babies, which only added to the unease. Due to the outrage, the Jiba Jabber was quickly banned. Before we move on, here's our subscribers' pick on disturbing kid toys that got banned. Take a look at this image. On the right, we have a peculiar creation from 1871, a crawling doll designed to help children learn to crawl. Back then, crawling was misunderstood, often seen as a sign of madness or animalistic behavior. It wasn't until later in the 19th century that crawling was recognized as a normal developmental stage. The 1871 crawling doll, with its mechanical body and plaster head, hands, and legs, was intended to simulate a realistic crawling motion. Despite its innovative purpose, the doll's eerie and unnatural appearance frightened children more than it helped them. Its creepy design led to widespread fear and distaste, quickly making it a failure and resulting in it being effectively banned. Ironically, as time passed, children began to favor more visually appealing toys that could crawl on their own. On the left, we have the iconic Barbie, a toy that has stood the test of time and remains a significant figure in children's play. Known for her versatility, Barbie can be dressed in countless outfits and comes with various accessories, from cars and houses to friends and romantic partners. This adaptability has kept Barbie popular for decades, extending her influence to other media, including a live-action film featuring Margot Robbie. However, not every version of Barbie has been a success. A prime example is the Pregnant Barbie, introduced in 2018. The idea seemed promising, offering a way to represent and educate about motherhood, but the execution was problematic. Parents were uneasy with the design, which involved undressing Barbie to remove a detachable baby bump and retrieve a baby figurine. This unsettling concept risked giving children misleading ideas about pregnancy and birth. The discomfort it caused, coupled with the controversial design, led to its quick ban, proving that even well-meaning ideas can sometimes go wrong. So viewers, what do you think about these toys? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Number 5. Hannah Montana Card Game. In 2007, a Hannah Montana card game was discovered to be dangerously unsafe for children, containing lead levels 75 times above industry standards. This hazardous lead content was not confined to the card game alone. Other Hannah Montana toys and products were also found to exceed safety limits. The card game's extreme lead levels prompted immediate concern. Although the initial safety assessments were flawed due to a loophole in regulations, where lead was present in the vinyl rather than the paint, the card game was eventually banned. The ban was enacted to prevent further risk to children, who were the primary users of these products. Once the full extent of the lead contamination became evident, the card game was recalled and removed from shelves. Number 4. FisherPrice Power Wheels. Power Wheels, a popular line of ride-on cars and trucks produced by FisherPrice in the late 1990s, promised children a miniature driving experience, but they came with serious safety concerns. These battery-powered vehicles, designed for young drivers, unfortunately had several critical design flaws that led to numerous accidents and injuries. One major issue was the malfunctioning braking system. Many Power Wheels models were reported to fail to stop properly, causing the toy cars to continue moving uncontrollably. This defect led to injuries as children collided with walls, furniture, or other obstacles. Additionally, several Power Wheels vehicles were prone to overheating, a problem that caused them to catch fire. This overheating issue was linked to faulty wiring and poor insulation, which resulted in up to $300,000 in property damage from fires. The safety concerns became so severe that FisherPrice issued a recall of the affected Power Wheels models in 1998. Despite the recall, the extent of the damage led to a significant response from regulatory bodies. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, investigated the issue and ultimately fined FisherPrice $1.1 million. The toy was eventually banned by CPSC. Number 3. Slingshots. Slingshots, often regarded as a classic childhood toy, have historically offered kids a sense of adventure, whether they're launching pebbles at soda cans or taking aim at trees. Yet, not all slingshots are created equal, and some, particularly those with arm braces, pose significant dangers. These arm-braced slingshots, designed to increase accuracy and power, can turn a playful activity into a hazardous situation. While they might seem like an exciting addition to a child's playtime, the added force and precision can lead to serious injuries if misused. The combination of high-speed projectiles and enhanced power makes these slingshots dangerous, particularly for unsupervised children. The risks have led many jurisdictions to impose strict bans on these devices. In New York State, for example, possessing an arm-braced slingshot is classified as criminal possession of a weapon in the 4th degree, a Class A misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in prison. This legal stance highlights the severe dangers associated with these seemingly innocuous toys. Globally, similar regulations have been adopted to prevent misuse. In countries like Australia and the UK, laws are in place to restrict the use and sale of slingshots, reflecting the shared concern for safety. Number 2. Boobas. Children's television often pushes boundaries, especially when aimed at very young viewers who might not fully grasp what they're seeing. Many shows resort to catchy songs, dances, or oddly shaped characters to captivate their audience. Yet there are limits, and the Boobas are a prime example of how far things can go. Created by the same team behind Teletubbies, another show known for its unusual creature designs, Boobas was meant to be the next big thing on the BBC. But if you've ever seen these characters, you'd understand why they didn't quite achieve the same success. The Boobas are bizarrely designed with their fuzzy, bulbous bodies and garish colors, and their toys are equally perplexing. It's hard to figure out what kind of imaginative play these toys are meant to inspire. Some might argue that their uniqueness could be seen as a bold choice, or that very young children might find them endearing despite not fully understanding them. However, one can't help but sympathize with the kids who might look at these toys and wonder, what on earth are these? The Boobas exemplify a point where creativity seems to have gone awry, leaving viewers and parents alike questioning the rationale behind their design. If you find yourself wondering why the Boobas exist at all, you're not alone. Their lack of widespread recognition and the puzzling nature of their toys highlight a misstep in the world of children's entertainment. Number 1. Mini hammocks. Recognizing that children were drawn to hammocks despite them not being designed for their use, manufacturers developed mini hammocks tailored for smaller bodies. However, a critical flaw emerged. Traditional hammocks fold inward, but these mini versions lacked spreader bars, leading to a risk of entanglement and strangulation. Tragically, numerous children and teenagers died in hammock-related accidents, and one child even sustained severe brain damage. Consequently, over 3 million of these mini hammocks were recalled and removed from shelves nationwide. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.